Paulis, 26A Glen Avenue. I will again reiterate what I said at the last meeting. I still continue to see the mayor's not doing his job. I ask that you look at decreasing his salary until he starts doing his job. In reference to the confidential aid position, I think we've all been here for a lot of the meetings where we're now hearing that she is also not performing her duties in returning phone calls and following up on things. So I commend you for doing that because I see that as an unnecessary position right now. What I'd like to know is the revenue for the inspections department. Are they sustaining their own department? Like, are they bringing in enough revenue to cover their expenses? They're not. They should be. Almost every single inspections department covers their expenses. So why are they not? Is it because they're not issuing the violations and collecting the fines? I think you're on the right track. One of the things in the municipality where I work, their inspections department has a very good software system. Everything is computer generated. There's very easily tracking of any inspections, work orders, permits, final approvals. They also have a website, the township website, where anybody can go on that website and look up and see who has a CO, who doesn't have a CO. Total transparency. You can see who got a permit and what did they get a permit for. So I suggest that you look at putting some money into the IT department. I believe the IT person, you could go out for a professional services agreement on that. I think that you also need a QPA. I operate your procurement policy. I don't even know what to say. It was mostly generated about purchase orders, and that you need 3 quotes. There was no policy, written policy on what is required. Again, you can actually contract with somebody for a QPA. You can do a shared services with another municipality. From what I've seen here, I don't know who it is, so I don't want to say, but it appears as if someone is just spending money with whatever vendor or whatever contractor, with whomever they select, even if it exceeds that 26-25 bid threshold, or quote threshold, I should say. That needs to stop. I don't know how the auditor gets away with not writing that up. Maybe they do, I don't know, but I will start looking at those audit notes, because that's a big violation. I'll tell you, DCA is not going to, the local finance board is not going to like that.
I will say that the auditors are going to be auditing in the next month, I believe. And they did ask me for several concerns of interest. If you...
Absolutely.
I would be more than happy to pass it along.
I've questioned a lot of things and have gotten really no answer other than...
Not from us.
Oh, no.
Oh, okay.
No, previously. But again, your inspections department should be bringing in enough revenue to support their own department, and they actually should be generating revenue. The other thing is, I was told by another elected official from another municipality that 75% of the mayor's salary is being charged out to sewer. Is that true?
No.
So do you know the percentage of his salary that's being charged out to the sewer department?
I do have it.
46?
Way to go, Bob.
That to me is questionable. But again,
It's been 46% for 30 years.
maybe that's why
You hear
there's
'em.
potential litigation from the other municipalities. I really would like to see those numbers and look at these budgets. And the other thing that is somewhat new is the revenue for the vacant abandoned properties. I believe that a previous employee had in her resume that she increased that revenue up to $250,000. Was that anticipated revenue for 2017? And what is that number for this year?
How do we know that?
Yeah, it's in here.
Yeah, and I did see it.
There is
Bob, do you
anticipated
remember what
revenue.
item it's under?
Yeah, we anticipated some of it last year because it was new. And yes, we anticipated it again this year.
And what's that number? Because since this is what, the second or third year that this has been in place, so those fees should be increasing?
Here it is,
Absolutely correct.
183,590, I believe.
That's it?
For this year.
For this year.
Request, that's
January was 160.
2018, I believe, right? Am I reading that right, Bob?
I'm sorry.
Abandoned properties?
Yeah.
So that resume must have been incorrect.
It sounds like it.
Yeah, I thought it was questionable.
The goal of the abandoned properties eventually is for it to be zero.
Oh,
Perfectly
absolutely,
honestly.
I agree.
I do think it's an excellent program, by the way. The abandoned properties ordinance was an excellent program, and I believe it was Councilman Davis who came up with that. It was an excellent program.
Yeah, because you want to see these properties occupied,
Absolutely.
and of course improvements done to those properties.
Absolutely.
And I believe that in properties obtaining permits, that's one way that you're tracking how these improvements are being made to the property so that their assessments are increased. It's another thing to look at with the inspections department. Why there aren't permits being issued for certain work that's being done.
Will you be at our work session?
Absolutely.
So will they.
Absolutely, because as you know, I've got something going on there too, so that I'm not very happy.
I was
That's-
CC'd on some emails.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying that from what my experience has been, there's a big issue with the inspections department. And I believe a lot of it is not having a proper system in place to track these things. Same thing with the police department. I echo with some of the citizens here that have had issues with neighbors, and you make the complaints, and there's an ordinance in place that after 3 calls, within a certain amount of time, they're supposed to be fined. Well, I found out a long time ago with Chief Miranda that they have no system in place to track that. You need to call them and say, listen, this is the 3rd time I called, you need to send a notice out. So I believe the whole software programs that the town is severely lacking in the technology department. I believe, well, I know for a fact I brought up the whole vulnerability assessment.
That was prior to us taking office.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
I do remember
Oh,
that
yeah.
meeting, yes.
So I also voice your concerns with the police department information. That's sensitive information. And, you know, I don't know what training Captain Swick has, but thank God I don't have anything in there, as far as I know anyway. So, but again, I really think that you would benefit from having a QPA on staff. You need a grant writer for sure. And it seems to me that there's, you know, again, my experience coming to these meetings, that the mayor has difficulty in understanding that a grant is what does not need to be repaid, where a loan does, because, you know, we had the issue with the NJEIT loan for the sewer improvements, and I'm sure you probably don't really know where that stands. Because I know sewer meeting, what, next
Well,
month?
we have an internal meeting for that. And then
You have excellent revenue coming in from septic now that the repairs have been made. Is all that revenue staying in the sewer department? But you are allowed to transfer so much of the surplus. And from what I understand, you said that you were transferring that money.
Yes. As per the contract.
Excellent, okay.
So, like I said, there's a lot of things that need to be really reviewed, because I think that, you know, there is more revenue to be made, especially in law enforcement. More fines need to be issued, I believe.
I don't want any more tickets.
No, I agree there, but everybody has had complaints about the speeding.
Stop, man.